Hello, everybody. This is Judith from EIT Urban Mobility. This is the info webinar on one of our topics that as part of the targeted program. I will give the attendees one more minute to attend this webinar, and then we will start. Okay, let's start this webinar. I'm Judith from EIT Urban Mobility. I am part of the innovation department of EIT Mobility, and today I will present this webinar with my colleague Laura. So in the next 45 minutes, we will talk about one of the 5 topics that will be released now that were released on the 14th of December. This topic is about multi-governmental open innovation partnership for sustainable mobility solutions. So for the next 45 minutes, we will tell you more about the scope in which this topic will be launched, which is a targeted project program. Then Laura will tell you more about the specifics of this topic and what we would like to fund. Then I will tell you more about the application and evaluation process. And to finalize, Laura will explain you more about, give you a sneak peek into what it would look like or how it would be like when your project or if your project would be financed. The last 15 minutes of this session, we will give the floor to you to ask questions in the Q&A section of the webinar. So whenever you have a question throughout the webinar, please feel free to already post them there and we will tackle them at the end. So just to give you a reminder that this session is being recorded and that we will put the recordings, we'll publish them on the call webpage, and it will also be visible on our YouTube channel, so in case you would like to re-watch. So let's start with the first topic, which is the targeted call, which is the permanent open call from the targeted project program. The targeted project program is one of the programs of the main of the innovation thematic area. Important to mention that this program complements the main innovation call that you might be familiar with, and it has a very specific aim. The program was set up in January to be able to address gaps in the innovation project portfolio. So sometimes we saw that in the project that were submitted and that had quality, that we do not always cover all the technologies, all the topics, all the regions that we would like to. And the targeted project framework allows us to quickly address these portfolio gaps once we have identified them. And on top of that, and as important, it also allows us to identify market failures within the urban mobility sector, policy, regulation changes, or any other external influences or event like emergent technologies and trends. So the framework of the targeted program helps us to address these topics quickly and efficiently throughout the year and business plan. In terms of the requirements or how the projects that we fund look like within this program, it's very similar as the main innovation call. The technology readiness level to start a project with your solution is around 6, 7, the same, and you end the project around 8, 9, so marketable solution, which then refers to the mandatory KPI, which is the marketed innovation. And the project budget and timeline depends on the topic and the type of project we would like to fund. But let's say that in general, the average project is between 250 and 350 EIT funding. And the average timeline is around a year. The main difference with the main innovation call is the format in which we have a permanently open call. And regularly we launch different topics that we identified based on these gaps or emerging trends of technology that I mentioned earlier. So we launch them throughout the year. And each topic will always be open for a minimum of 2 months, so you have sufficient time to apply, and it will always be published on the website and communicated about. And the difference with the main innovation call is that instead that you have a broad focus that you can submit your project, that in this case the topics are pretty well defined because we know what we would like to fund in general to address these topics. Just a quick emphasis on the fact that it's also the targeted projects are always very much commercial or have a very commercial focus. That's also why the type of organizations that benefit from this call are mostly industry partners and startups and SMEs. And of course, also depending on the type of technologies that we would like to, or service that we would like to develop, cities are or can be demonstration sites. I put industry in green because in 2024 and 5 we will focus more and more on trying to work with industry. So just that you know that this is not the first launch of topics that we have. We had one in February and June as well. February was the first launch for the targeted program ever. And in this edition, we focus on the portfolio gap of waterborne mobility. Now we have allocated funding to 2 projects for this, and on the market failure of a large-scale ICT solution for public transport operators in risk countries. And in June, we focused on a portfolio gap, which is healthy cities, which allowed us to fund projects in public realm and active mobility, which is not funded anymore as part of the main innovation call, and on the market failure of hydrogen demand. And now we have this third launch. Of course, next year there will be other launches. So in this slide, you can see, so now we on topic release 3, so the third edition, let's say, of the targeted call. We will fund 5 topics, the one you see on the right. And we aim to fund 5 to 8 projects, depending on the requested budget, the quality of the project, etc. But at least 1 per topic. And for some topics, we also mentioned that we might be able to fund more than 1 project. The total budget available for all the topics together is 2.5 million euros. And depending on the topic, the budgets are in between 250 and 600K, mostly for the hydrogen topic, because these type of technology developments require more funding, is 600K. But for most, it's between 250 and 350 for all the other topics. Just a quick timeline. So the call opened on the 14th of December. And today is the 20th, which is our info webinars. And then it will close next year in the end of February. Then together with the evaluation process and the mandatory standstill period, we aim for the projects to start around April or May, hopefully as soon as possible, of course. And having given you a bit of context on the targeted program in which this topic will be funded, I will now give the floor to my colleague Laura, and she will enlighten you more on the exact scope of the topic and what we would like to receive as type of projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Judith. Good afternoon, everyone. Let's talk now about the scope of the topics, the task, the outcome, etc. So the topic is called Multi-Governmental Open Innovation Partnership for Sustainable Mobility Solutions. And we are looking for a project consortium with or leading by a governmental authority, participating with some SMEs that can expedite market innovation among SMEs with targeted solution for niche urban mobility challenges. That means that we are looking for a partnership with a governmental authority that is related, or they are involved in their own innovation program at a more national or regional level. And we expect that 3 SMEs at least, they provide some mobility solutions to the challenges of the cities involved in the consortium. This solution must be scalable in the piloting city and should be replicable also to other cities. The origin of this topic is that the national contact points for Horizon Europe express the desire to better align the European innovation programs with other national or regional innovation programs as well, because we usually share the same goals and even the same tasks and pilots. But they ask to be aligned with the European ones to provide the national programs a European perspective, a European breadth. And in the case of the EIT Urban Mobility, we can support those programs also by include different SMEs independently of the member state origin of the SME. We can help these SMEs to get some impact and to expand across Europe. And also, since we are a European, the European level, the level of administrative procedures that we have is quite smaller than the national or local institutions. So who can apply to this kind of topic? You can apply any institution from any European member state and other associated countries, such as Israel or Canada or Turkey. The consortium must be led by a national or regional authority that has some operational link with an existing mobility open innovation program. So the lead has to be the one that has their own innovation program. But not only them, they must lead this consortium because they are the ones leading another innovation program. But we need also to include at least 3 SMEs that will act as commercial partners because they will be the responsible of the market innovation. That means that they will provide new solutions or significantly improve solutions to the cities that will be piloting those solutions. We need at least 2 different countries because it's a European project, so we need at least be represented by 2 different countries, and obviously 1 demonstrating city. This city can be participating as a partner of the consortium with a budget or by a letter of intent. Other requirements that we have to participate in this specific topic. The SMEs needs to provide mobility solution that starts with a TRL at least 6, 7 at the beginning of the project and must arrive to a TRL 8, 9 by the end of the project. Those solutions should match the challenges of those specific demonstrating cities. It's not that they are just providing solutions to different city challenges, but the ones that those cities are experimenting right now. And we are looking also for a direct relation between the project and this local innovation program, because this project has to contribute to improve the acceleration of this program in some ways. And how this project is going to look like. So we expect at least 3 tasks. Obviously, there can be more involved, but the first time is the collaboration task. In this task, we expect to see how this collaboration between the EIT and this innovation program, how the EIT is going to impact this program, how it's going to encourage internalization of the SMEs involved, and how it's going to increase the impact of the local program. Regarding the solution development, then we go to the solution development itself. This solution must address the city challenges, and we need to know how this solution is going to impact the city challenges, and ensure that these solutions are scalable and replicable in other cities. And finally, of course, we are looking for the demonstration and the validation of the solutions. So at least the solutions, each of the solutions in the that are going to be piloting in the project must be piloted at least in 1 city for at least 1 month. And the idea is that you can engage city authorities and final users so you have the feedback of the users themselves. The outcomes that we expect from this project are 2 main outcomes. One is about the partnership itself, to develop this partnership model between the EIT Urban Mobility and other mobility programs from different governmental levels, and also to accelerate the demonstration and adoption of novel solutions to enhance urban mobility. We have 3 mandatory KPIs. There are other optionals. I put it here, but just focus on the 3 that are mandatory for this specific topic. We expected at least 2 marketed innovation with a sales revenue of at least 10,000 euros by the end of the project, at least 3 demonstrations or pilots in the cities, and at least 1 city engagement in the project. The topic budget, for this topic, the budget is, the EIT funding is up to 250,000 euros with a minimum co-funding of 33%. This co-funding can be split differently between the partners. Not every partner has to put a 33% of co-funding, but the whole consortium needs to put a 33, co-funding. So the minimal total project budget is the one that you see here, the 333,000 euros. And the project duration is about one year, 12 months. In this specific topic, we expect to fund up to 3 projects this year. Any other information that needs to be submitted for this topic? We are asking also for some mandatory documents. All of the partners that are not, or all of the stakeholders that are not involved as partners should send some letter of intent, especially for demonstrating cities that are part of the consortium, but also some governmental authorities that are participating, that are linked to the programs, that are not leading, that are not involved directly in the project, can also send letter of intent. Also, the evidence of the established open innovation program. Here, what we ask is, what we want to know is the local program. So maybe there are some guidelines or some information about the Open Innovation Program. So this is what we are asking for. And finally, in the submission tool, we ask specific topic-related questions that must be answered in the submission phase. In here, we said, to what extent can the collaboration with the EIT Urban Mobility increase the impact of the current Open Innovation Program, including past and present activities, the allocated resources, and strat record? Here, what we are asking for, we are asking for some information about the program itself, how it works, the success stories in the past, what we have done until now. And in a second stage, we are asking also about what's the impact that this collaboration with the DIT is going to have into this local program in terms of internationality, impact general, acceleration, etc., whatever it takes. So now I will give the floor again to my colleague Judith that will explain how the application process goes.
Thank you, Laura. So if this topic is relevant for you, then the next step is the actual application process. So the first step of application is that you have to register. And there are 2 types of registration that are very important. Most of you might already be familiar with this, but every time you need or you request European funding of any kind of any type of instrument or program, you require a PIC number. In case you never had any European funding before, you might not have this yet. And you should request this on the European Funding and Tender Opportunities portal. This is on European level, not on EIT Urban Mobility or EIT level. So make sure you have this because it might take some time to actually obtain this number. Secondly, you would also have to register on our Plaza submission and registration platform. This is on EIT Urban Mobility level. It's just to register your partner as part of our database. And also this you will get a PIF number, so not a PIC, but a PIF number, which is Partner Information Form. Also do this as soon as you can because it might require some days to be processed here internally. In terms of, all of this will be better explained in the guidelines for applicants that they are updating that document now. It might even be available at this moment, but if not, in the coming days or week, it will be updated and available on the call web page. So this is a print screen of the Plaza submission page, let's say. So from the moment you start completing your application, this is what you see, and you can see that there are multiple tabs. We are not going to go through all the tabs, but just that you get a bit of an idea. What is important to highlight is in the first starting tab, it's very important that you put the right where you're applying to. So you have to put innovation, the permanently open targeted call, and the permanently open targeted first cutoff date. So these three you have to put in case there might be more calls. I think for innovation there is nothing open at this moment, but maybe for other thematic areas. So it's very important that you submit your project in the right section of Plaza. And of course, don't forget to put the right start and end date. In most cases, it will be 1 year project, like was mentioned before. So in this case as well, and then you start on the 1st of April and the end of March. So for all the other tabs, it's pretty straightforward. Project overview is about the project objectives, the outcomes, the deliverables, the KPIs, so the fundamentals of your project, basically. But what we also would like to highlight is in tab 3, it's a bit more specific because all the other tabs are similar for all type of innovation projects, not only for the targeted project program. So this specific tab, you can find some questions that are very specific to targeted. Okay, I think there are between 3 and 5 general questions that everyone has to fill in for no matter for which topic you're applying, including this one. But you will also find questions that are topic related. So in the next slide here, you can see the topic question that is related to your topic 5, the topic that we are talking about today. Please provide further details. So that was already mentioned before by Laura. So make sure that you answer this question very thoroughly, okay? Because this will be evaluated as part of the strategic fit. So if this question is not or this answer is not convincing, we might even discard your application for the full evaluation process, because this is probably the fundamental criteria of having a good project for this topic, to fit this topic, basically. You will also see, because we couldn't change the application form for each topic, but you will also see all the questions related to 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can just ignore them and put non-applicable in case Plaza doesn't allow you to submit something without any text. But you should only focus on topic 5 question, obviously. In the same tab, will also allow you to upload some files. You're always welcome to submit any type of files you deem relevant. However, as part of this topic, you will have to, it's mandatory to provide some additional information, as Laura mentioned before. This is the location in which you can actually upload this evidence or mandatory documentation. Some tips that we would like to give you based on some experience we had before. We mentioned it already. Please do not wait until the last moment with obtaining your pick in case you don't have it yet. Register on Plaza. Also, even to submit the application, I would start as soon as possible so that you don't get into any troubles in the last day before submission. Please check very carefully, not just the call manual, but the related annex with all the topic descriptions. So for topic 5, check very carefully what are the eligibility criteria. I mean, it was mentioned before by Laura, but read it again. What are the mandatory KPIs? What is the minimum co-funding? What is the size and the type of consortium that is eligible for this topic? So make sure you have that very well, because if not, your project is basically not eligible. Also, a general tip for the quality of your proposal, it's always good to read through the evaluation criteria that are listed in the call manual. I mean, we are very transparent on how we evaluate our proposal. So if you understand those, you also understand what to highlight in your proposal. And the final question is, make sure that you, I mean, I just mentioned it, but make sure that you answer very well your topic-specific evaluation question. So once you have submitted your application, where it goes back to us, we have to evaluate the submitted proposal or proposals. So I will just go very broadly that you understand the different steps of the evaluation. All the detailed information you're welcome to read in the call manual. But so the first step, like any type of projects that you will ever submit, is eligibility or project management office. And us, we will check whether your proposal is actually fully completed, that you have filled in everything well in English. We will check the eligibility of each of the applicants. So it has to do with whether you are located in an eligible country, for instance, and if you have a PIC and a BIF number. We will check if you have the right co-funding rate. And of course, we will check whether you comply with all the topic-related eligibility requirements that have to do with the KPIs and the size of the consortium, etc. Once your project is deemed eligible, you go to the next step. In case you're not eligible, you will get communication from the project management office, and you will get 5 days to rectify the eligibility requirement. I think for the completeness, you just have to really complete your proposal well, because there you get no time, of course. But for all the other things, like obtaining your PIC number or adapting maybe even your co-funding rate because you made a mistake on Plaza, this is still possible within 5 working days. So then we move to the strategic fit. The strategic fit, the idea of here is that is actually, it moves from internal to external, so we don't touch it anymore. It goes to 3 external evaluators that will evaluate whether your project fits the topic and the general objectives of the EIT Urban Mobility. It's basically a first, before we go into full evaluation of the quality of your proposal, we just want to make sure that what you have submitted actually fits what we would like to fund. And then that is the topic-specific question. That is one of the things that is evaluated as part of this, a part of the evaluation, of the strategic fit evaluation. If you reach the threshold of getting 3 out of 5 points for each of the 3 criteria, you move to the full evaluation that is also conducted by the same external evaluators. There they will evaluate the quality of the proposal based on its excellence, its promised impact, and the way it's implemented. Excellent has to do with state of the art, how innovative it is, etc. The impact has to do with the commercial potential of your solution, for instance. And the implementation is about topics like, do you have a good work plan? Is it feasible? Is the consortium that you propose, does it have a good role division? And is it actually credible enough to implement all these? So it's more that type of evaluation questions. Once the external evaluators have evaluated this, their scores, or the average of their scores, will count as 80% of the final score. That then will move, once you have the threshold, a certain threshold, it will move to the final step, which is the portfolio selection. The portfolio selection will evaluate, is a final step in which the management team from EIT Mobility will check the scores that were presented by the external evaluators, and will get 20% or 20 points based on business intelligence from the company. So what is our current project portfolio? Was this product already funded before? Do we have good, bad experiences with certain partners in the consortium? What is other strategic things that we would like to consider as certain countries that is now underrepresented in our portfolio that we might, this type of more general is discussed in the portfolio selection. It's just a small percentage, but sometimes it does make a difference. And as soon as we have found the best ranking project per topic, these are the ones that will move to the negotiation phase, or the phase in which the project will be, in most cases, requested to implement certain conditions, such as maybe a budget reduction or more KPIs or certain activities that we see are redundant. It can be many different things. can be small, very small things, or bigger changes in your project. And then if in 1 month the consortium manages to implement these changes, then we can move to the actual allocation of the budget and the start of the project. In case a project does not make it through this phase, which by my experience does not happen so often, if not ever, we go to the reserve list and we might take the next ranking project. In case EIT Mobility gets more budget, or we realize that there are very high quality projects, we might take some projects of the reserve list and fund it. This has also happened before. I think that's everything on the evaluation process. So I will now give the floor again to Laura, who will tell you a bit more about what to expect if and when your project is awarded.
Thank you, Judith. So once the project is awarded, first of all, let's talk about the financial sustainable mechanism that we mentioned before, the sustainability. This is referred to the return of investment from these future projects. So the idea is that usually each project has at least one commercial partner responsible for this mechanism, but in this case, we will have at least 3 commercial partners, the 3 SMEs involved in the project. And there are different types of commercial partners depending on the relationship with the EIT. The default one, let's say, is like the general commercial partner. In this case, is that SME that is developing, validating this new technology in this project, that will sign a commercial agreement with us. So we provide some services, some commercial services for a fee and a variable fee depending on the sales. But there are also 2 other types. That could be also an equity portfolio partner. In this case, we are talking about SMEs that are already in our portfolio equity. So we are already investing in them. So we will negotiate the percentage of investment. Or another type is a new company was spin out that is created, but a partner during the lifetime of the project, which will be a kind of different. This is for the commercial partners. But then the other partners, to be able to receive some grant from the EIT Urban Mobility, they also need to join the EIT Urban Mobility ecosystem and become members. There is here we put a link to our web page, where you can see the different types of membership fee and all the services that we include depending on the membership fee. But basically there are 3: the gold partner, the silver partner, on the leading city. If you need more information, you can go to our website or ask to any of our emails. Related to the project, what can you expect from the project once it's awarded? First of all, getting started, we have some time to sign all the legal documents, the grant agreement, the commercial agreement, etc. Then we move on until the project itself, this 12 months of project development with the solution development, the demonstration. So for you to know, it's important to know that there will be someone from the EIT monitoring this process that will be present in the demonstration visit at least once during the project lifetime. And finally, to finalize the program and to end with the project, we will ask to a final report and also to the project deliverables and outcomes, and also to see how the KPIs have been achieved.
So you will find my contact there in the call manual, and you are always welcome to ask any questions. All the answers that we give that are not presented yet in the call manual on the annex with the topic descriptions, we will publish them as frequently asked questions so that we are sure that all applicants have the same information.
Exactly.
I think we can close the webinar. As I said at the start of the webinar, this was recorded, so we will publish it on the call webpage. So in case you would like to rewatch anything, and in case you have any questions, please contact me, because I'm sure that things will pop up while you are working on your application. We wish you good luck and a nice holidays as well.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Bye.